Good day, writers. It is a beautiful spring day, and we're going home. We're taking the bike out of storage. It's had some work done, and we'll be making our way home. So, what is it? You, you you're interested in the story of being homesick? Huh. I'm kind of pleasantly surprised. That was a couple years back. Denver, leg 3. So you recall the story of the little boy growing up, a little bit despondent in terms of becoming an adult, growing up. Like that expression, has anyone ever used it on you? When are you going to grow up or act like an adult? And I mean, the real question is, what is growing up and what is an adult? And explain to me why I should want to participate in that. And there better be a good answer. There better be a good answer when you ask those questions. And so I'm going to get into a little bit about the experience of that young man, once little boy, and try to describe the turning point in his life where he was no longer despondent, but had a grasp of what he had experienced, and what the outside world was telling him, and he found a place where he could kind of bring those two things together and move forward. So that place was on a college campus that he routinely visited, was attending classes, and it was a spring, or it's probably an autumn term, a fall term, and part of his routine was to hang out at the student union at lunch hour. And it was a sunny day. He was with his two friends, Tony and Cindy, and they were listening to a play that was being put on by a production crew out of San Francisco called the Lambs Players, and the name of the play was called Everyman. And somewhere in the scenes, he was paying attention to that, and sitting between Tony and Cindy, and he began to weep. He moved from laughter, because it was a comedy with a serious message, but he was laughing away, and all of a sudden he just began to weep, and looked over at his friends, and he could see they were a little bit taken back, and it didn't take them too long to get up and leave, and that was fine by him. He was just going to sit there. They could go their merry way. And what had happened in that moment was that the scene, the plot line, was one of every man encountering lust, and not sure if what the actual words were, or what the actors were about, but at a certain point during that scene, the language of the Holy Spirit fell upon him And I'm going to call it the language of the Holy Spirit. And I just, I want you to hold your hands as far apart as you can get them. Outstretch your arms. And that's the language of humans. A sentence, 3 words, whatever. It's a conveyance from humans. Now, bring your hands closer together, closer together, closer together until they're just about touching. That's the conveyance from the Holy Spirit. It's a compression of words and meanings, and it's the message. And so it was new to him, but he recognized it instantly and went from laughter to complete focus to complete attention. And the conveyance went something like this. Why are you laughing? It is I, the one you have been looking for. Now, that was the gist of it, but the word I was further compressed. It was I, me, Jesus. It took on a whole nother depth. And at the end of it, the one you have been seeking was an expansion. It expanded and exploded into an entire digest of the seeking he had been doing. It was very clear to him. The seeking was very specific, and it was every time he had sought, and the object that he was seeking, and it was just an explosion of all of that. And perhaps the word I was a concentration of the messenger, the message. And so it brought him to first an awareness, and then a weeping, and then he was just dumbfounded. He was just sitting there, and the sun had moved somewhat in and over him, and he was in a shaded area, but he knew he needed to stay put, stay in place. So he just sat there, and the students and the audience came and went, and the play finally got over with, and there was a call during the encore presentation, or whatever that thing is, when all the actors get up on stage and take a bow, and there was a call to, if you felt something moving you, come on up, let's talk about it. And well, he got up, and he moseyed over there and started looking at the acting company people, and they're all in a costume, and one of them they locked peepers, and he started moving towards her, and they sat down along the fountain edge where there was a bench, and she was pretty quick. She was pretty quick to identify what was going on, and it was just a matter of minutes that he had asked Jesus into his life, and really turned his will and life over to Jesus as he now knew Jesus. And so that was a changing moment in that young man, once little boy's life. And there's been nothing that has compared to it. There have been things that have been close, and I'm not speaking of worldly things. Certainly those things are around us, and God has intended them to be around us as a metaphor to the relationship that we can have with Him. But there have been moments in the Spirit that come close to that, where just charge goes through His body, and like a finger presses right on His forehead and remains there as long as He keeps His focus and attention to the Spirit. And the blessing of the conveyance is a purification of being that has to be described as a love, and I guess theologically agape in the breakdown of that word, in a separation from how it's commonly used, which doesn't do it justification. An agape love is like an energy that one weeps before, like the champion who trains maybe a year, maybe 2 years, I don't know, but they train for the event, they train for the championship, and they achieve that championship, and right away they're being interviewed, and all of a sudden there's just this outpouring of emotion, and I'm sure they don't even care. It feels so good to let it all out, and they don't even know who they are at that point, and they don't care. They were never really aware of how much was bottled up in them emotionally to achieve that goal, and it was a dream, and they've achieved it. And that's what it's like at every touch of the Holy Spirit. It's a dream realized and achieved, and there's just an outpouring, and who cares how that outpouring is manifested, what it manifests. The important thing is that relationship, and it is truth. It is agape love, and it is transformative. The young man went on, and the battle continued, but it was now against spiritual forces, and that's just the nature of the darkness of this world. It doesn't want the truth out, doesn't care what you believe as long as it's not the truth. So if your intention is to walk with God through Jesus, you will have hurdles and obstacles, but don't look back, and don't give up. And if you're an idol, throttle it up now, and start moving, move forward, move with the Spirit, and never ever give up, because God has never and will never give up on you.